Hello, my name is Brooklyn Flowers, and this is my quiz 2 for Theories of Psychology with Nisha Gupta. First and foremost, I would like to touch bases on the video. The video honestly breaks my heart. I have seen this video before. I took a religion class and we talked about Islamophobia, and we had to write a paper on Islamophobia, and it was just extremely sad to me learning the stories that women alone go through. You know, of course, everybody, but just, just how they do women and how they do their people is just extremely sad to me. First and foremost, I would like to relate the video back to liberation psychology, liberation and feminist theory. Liberation psychology is an approach to psychology that aims to actively understand the psychology of the oppressed. In this situation, I do believe that the young lady was the oppressed. One thing I learned in liberation psychology is that there are 5 faces of oppression, and I believe that the young lady was also facing those 5 faces of oppression. The 5 faces of oppression, and excuse me if I'm pronouncing them wrong, will be violence, cultural imprivation, powerless, exploration, and manipulation. Those are some of the things that, she was dealing with on an everyday basis. She spoke in the video and she was basically saying how, when she was a young girl after 9/11, she remembered, thinking that everything was going to be okay. And after that, her life basically changed. She began to go to school and was judged, was picked on, was beaten up. Even older adults was looking at her differently because of her religion. I think a lot of times with dealing with this and why she faced PTSD is because of the culture of silence. Just like she said, she spoke with her parents and it kind of just went in one ear and out the other. Sometimes it's hard it's a fear of speaking up within the community. It's kind of like the demand to be quiet. I feel like she was facing all of those characteristics at that current moment at a young child. When she grew up, she kind of, started to speak up and, share her story with others, which was very powerful. I would like to speak on one of the slides that really caught my attention, which was the psychosocial trauma. I also believe that she was dealing with that too, and I also want to touch bases on the components that was there. The social political trauma, racial trauma, minority stress theory, and also PTSD. All of those things all of those characteristics is what she was facing. Islamophobia is dealing with the dislike that people have against Islams and Muslims, and how people, separate them and are threatened by them, when in naturality they're people just like us. I feel like all those things could change if we all come together as a society and speak on it and be more aware and be more knowledgeable of them. In my religion class, I learned numerous of things that were dealing with people facing Islamophobia, and like I said, it's extremely sad. And her, as being a woman, these are the things that she was dealt with. The racial trauma, that's something that she's going to deal with for the rest of her life, because no one is speaking up. No one is trying to make a big significant change, because even now, this is things that are going on currently. It's a website. It's an excellent website that you can go to, and you can look up the different stories that these women were facing. Islamophobia.org, if I'm not mistaken, but you can look it up and just view these different stories that they're facing. This is traumatic. These are things that they're going to be dealing with for the rest of their life. Minority stress theory, all of this ties into the trauma that they're going to be facing due to their religion, due to the ethnicity that they have. The theory that I have chosen, like I said before, would be liberation and feminist theory. I really feel like they go hand to hand together. The 5 components was just speaking on on minority stress theory, racial trauma, social political trauma, PTSD, and liberation psychology all together as in a whole. I also want to honestly address the role that we can take in liberation psychology in order to, make a difference. And one of those things is, identifying the community needs, empowering the empowered, also just speaking up for people that don't have a voice, that they don't have much of a voice. Speak up for those people. Numerous of things are going on around the world that are dealing with Islamophobia that needs to be talked about. This quiz was very interesting to me. This was honestly one of my favorite topics. I can go on and talk about it. It breaks my heart, and to me it's extremely sad, but I do believe that, if we continue to speak up about it, change will be made. We can't change we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. That concludes my quiz 2. Just to go back over a few things, like I said, for one of my theories, it would be liberation and feminist theory. I spoke on why, because I do believe that they go hand in hand. For my 5 components, those would be the components that was on the slideshow that was basically dealing with liberation psychology and also social trauma and the different concepts that was listed that I feel like goes hand in hand with the video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.